Passwords for SSH is a security nightmare. Every single day, bots are out there and they're hammering every single server with common passwords. And the fix is simple: SSH keys. Way more secure and way more convenient, honestly, once it's configured. So let me show you exactly how you do that on Ubuntu Server 2604. So how it works, every time when you try to connect using the SSH session, SSH tries to check with the public key available for your user, and then where you're connecting from, it matches. If the keys are matching, you don't even need the password to connect. So it's more secure, easier way to connect to your server. All right, so now let's jump to the computer screen and start with step number 1, where we are going to generate the keys. So in first step, we are going to generate the keys, and I'm going to use 2 different machines. I'm using Linux Mint to generate keys, and also I'll show you how you do that on Windows as well. So on a Linux machine, it's pretty simple. You type SSH keygen, and then you type -t for method. And for this one, we are going to use the most modern method, which is ed25519. And then we're going to type -C, and then we can give it some kind of identifier. So for this one, I will say Linux Mint, and as I hit enter, you can see it's asking for the name. And if you want to set any kind of name to your keys, you can set that. But if you leave it as it is, it will be id_ed25519. So I'm going to leave it as it is. And on the top of that, you can also add a passphrase or a password for your private key. So let's say if you have this doubt, maybe your private key can be leaked, or somebody else can use that, then if you set up this password, so this password will stick to your private key. You have to understand this. This is not the password for your remote server where you're trying to connect as root, as your user, as Talha or as John or whatever. It's not the password for your remote server. It's going to be the passphrase or the password for your private key. So if you want to keep something here, it's up to you. If you have your personal computer like me, I don't need to add that key phrase, and I hit enter twice, and now my key is generated. So this is step number 1 for Linux, and then I'm going to repeat the same step for the Windows machine as well. For Windows machine, you need to right click on the start menu here and then open the terminal, and command is same, SSH keygen, and it's using keygen.exe, so don't be afraid of that. -t, which is the method 2519, and then -c, the identifier. I'm going to give it a name Windows 11 and hit enter, and it's going to show you exactly same prompt for a passphrase and all that stuff. So that's how you create the key pair in the Windows 10 or Windows 11 machine. It's the same process. Moving forward to the step number 2, copy the public key to the server. For Linux machine, we use this command SSH-copy ID, and then we use this identifier -i, and then the directory where we have those keys. So it's SSH, and you can see it automatically detected the public key. And then after that, I'm going to type the username I'm going to use for this specific key. I know I have 2 users. If you have watched my previous video, I created a user Talha, and there is another user which was Talha test, but I'm going to use the same user as Talha 192.168.2.100. And again, in my previous video, I showed you guys how to change the SSH port and disable a lot of stuff. If you have done that, make sure you revert back to port 22 and at least allow port 22, because it's going to use port 22 to copy all that stuff. And then you can later on change everything back to how it was, because we're going to use the SSH keys, and for that we need to literally copy those. But in case if you're having hard time copying this, you can do that manually. What I'm going to do for the Windows, so copy SSH ID. I is the identifier for the file name, and then where you want to copy that. And then it's going to ask you, these are the fingerprints, blah, do you want to confirm? Type yes. And then it's going to try to copy all the keys to the remote server. So now you can see it's showing me this IP address 2.100, which is prompting for the password of this user right here. this user at this server. So I need to type in password for this, not my local machine password. So I'll type the password here. I hope I typed twice. I did. So as I type in the password, I should be able to see that number of keys added 1 and 2. All right. So now the key is added. Just to verify, I'm gonna go into .ssh folder of, currently I am actually in my user.ssh directory. So keys work with the user. If you add your keys into root user, then you won't be able to use for this user Talha. And if you have multiple users, you can create, every user can have their own keys, and they will go into home and the username and their .ssh folder. So I can see I have the authorized file here, and if I do lslash, and you can see it was recently changed, a minute ago it was changed. So that means my key has been copied, and if I do this, I can see the Linux Mint identifier keys has been added. To do that from Windows, we need to simply copy that. So for that, I'm gonna open this file, authorized key, and then in the next line, so first line is going to be for the Linux Mint, and then the next line I'm going to use for Windows 11. So you need to go into this folder, see users and your username and .ssh directory, and then you will need to open the public key file. I think these are my old keys. I need to just refresh this folder. So here you can see I have these two files, Windows 11 private key, and this is the public key. And if I open this in Notepad, so I can simply copy this line, copy, and then I think I should be able to paste it here. If not, then I'll use another session to copy and paste using the putty. But I'm currently using a virtual machine on Proxmox, so sometimes there are limitations. So that's why I prefer using Linux, because you can do copy with one command, or I have a tool which you can use, just click and it will automatically send that. And I will give you that in the end as a bonus, and you can download it and use it. But it's gonna work only in the local environment. All right, so now let's move to the step number 3, test key login. So in this step, I'm going to test the keys if they're working or not, or if there is anything wrong with the key. So I'm going to type SSH, the user I added the keys to, and hit enter, and let's see how it goes. Boom, I'm connected, and it didn't ask for the password. So that's how the keys work, and I love it. So far, everything is good, but we need to turn down some of the stuff. If I exit from here and try logging in using, let's say, this user, I'm still getting the password prompt, which is not nice. I don't want this. I want the keys to be working. There should be no password. Only keys should be working. So I'm gonna cancel this out, and I need to disable a few things in the SSH setting. Step number 4, disabling password authentication. Make sure you do this after you confirm that you are able to log in using your keys. So right now, if I try SSH with this user, and I should be able to log in without the password, then I'm gonna disable the password authentication on the server side. And how we do that, so first of all, I'm gonna go into the file, not cd, actually I can do sudo nano etc sshd.config, and I'm gonna go here, type in the password for this, and I can still change the port, let's say 2245, what I previously had. And then here I'm gonna do permit root login, which is already set to no, and I'm going to use the authorized keys as. And there should be one more thing which should say public key authentication. Yes, this one right here. These two lines should be uncommented. So authorized file key is located here, and then we are allowing public key authentication to yes. And then I'm changing the port number to 45, and I'm gonna go back and sudo ufw default deny incoming. And then I'm going to do sudo ufw allow port number 2245 for TCP, and hit enter. So rule has been updated. And then there is one more thing that I'm going to disable. So I'm going to go into the SSH folder again, SSHD folder, and there is another folder called sshd_config.d, and there is another file. Most of the time there is some configuration you need to change. So I think I forgot to type sudo, hit enter, and here you can see password authentication is set to yes. I'm gonna type here no, so there will be no password acceptance for any user. If you have the key, you can access, otherwise there is nothing you can do unless you have the console access. So previously we saw that I tried to connect using a different user, but it was prompting the password for this user, Talha1. As I hit enter, sorry, I need to restart the SSH service as well. Sudo systemctl restart SSH and SSHD. After restarting this, I'm gonna try again one more time with this user SSH Talha1, which does not has the keys. Hit enter, and you can see permission denied, public keys allowed only. So if I do with the Talha user, let's see how it works. Amazing. And just like that, now your server is no longer vulnerable for the password brute force. SSH keys are honestly one of the most impactful security changes you can make on your server. Last but not the least, I'm going to show you the tool I have. So this is the tool I built for myself, and I'm still working on it to adding more and more machines. So yesterday I built it up, completed this one. So it has the key gen as well. So you can generate key by simply clicking generate key, and this is this, and it will automatically save to this folder if you leave it blank. And you can use the passphrase as well. And there's two methods, RSA 4096 and the ED. And you can name it whatever you want. So I was testing this for Nginx Proxy Manager, so I named it this, but I can generate more keys as well. So copy public key, it's a simple thing, you're just copying it. And if you want to paste, simply copy and paste, or otherwise you can deploy it to the server. And on what server you want to deploy, you type here the IP address and the port number and the username for what user you want, and then simply click here and it will deploy your key to your server. And then other than that, I click on all machines so I can see all the machines, and I have RDP and SSH only sessions, so I can separate between two as well. So this one I just added Windows 11, and if I click on RDP, it's gonna say session launched, and let's see. So there is a security message from Windows 11. You really want to do that, and then it's gonna ask you one more time, caution, you're accessing this blah server. I just simply need to say connect and then yes, and now you can see I'm able to connect to my remote server, and I clicked multiple times, I guess. Now try the SSH session. So I have this Nginx Proxy Manager, and I'm using the same key. You can see key and key for all these three Linux related servers. So if I click SSH, you can see I'm logged in as root because it's a container, and then again this one is also a container. And if I just click on SSH, logged in directly as root. And this one is Ubuntu Server 24. And I have this user added here. So click on SSH and directly log in. I don't need to type the password. But if I have to click add more machines, so you can choose session in between RDP, SSH, and the name and the production tag, like what I have here in two different tabs, and then the IP address, the port number, and then you save it. So after you save it, you need to add the credentials, and you can use multiple credentials. I have added root only here, but if I need to add more, so I can have multiple credentials, and then under the credentials, there is an option after you have added a credential, you can add the key as well. So that's the tool I have, and I think for me it's pretty useful, but if you guys need it, just let me know in the comment. And if you feel this video was interesting, and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.